right. Alright, thanks for whoever told me. Alright guys, we are live. Okay, that makes sense why nobody was talking. Alright, I might have done an analysis with nobody talking. Alright, thank you, Percy. I hope you guys can hear me. Hold on, let me check something. I can just check on my phone if I'm live, right? But if you guys are live, like, say something. I mean, if you guys are... Hold on, let me pop out the stream. Okay, so you can hear me? Where's the pop out at? Here you go. Awesome. So we'll need that. We'll need this. Alright, so... I do believe I am live now. Hold on, I'm just gonna check on my phone. I should have done this before. Sorry, it's my first time. Let me look at my phone. Make sure this is live. So click on this link. Make sure this is... Hey, I can hear myself. Okay, so we are live. So click on this link. Make sure this is... Okay, awesome. Awesome. So, let me... I didn't go over too much, right? But the whole point of this was pretty much me just interacting with people and, seeing how things are. But yeah, sorry for the people who waited 30 minutes. I swear to God, I thought it was live, but now I am live. So thanks for being here. Okay. If anyone doesn't have any questions immediately, I'm just going to go over Bitcoin analysis very quickly on a weekly and daily time frame. Okay. Again, my charts can look a little bit messy. Okay. So I'll zoom in as much as I can so you guys can see. Very slightly this week we did close below the previous support of the past 5 weeks where we closed at about 34,200. It's a little bit slightly lower than what I would like. If we close a little bit above that, I would say yes, we're still kind of in that region. It's just a minor thing. I wouldn't be too concerned, but that is something new to keep track of. We did close a little bit below the previous 5 weeks, right? We are getting a little closer to 30,000. On a daily time frame, it's a little bit more easier to look at, right? So again, my moving average that we need to pay attention to is the 21, right? This is the one that we want to pay attention to, the yellow line. So we got rejected once here, okay? Got rejected twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. This one, again, I'll just take these off, but we've gotten rejected so many times, but it's 21 daily moving average that it's not looking too good for Bitcoin. And again, I just want to say this projection, this blue line projection here, is what I believe is the best case for the bears. Best case for the bulls to have. Again, yes, ultimately, it does lead to a bull trap, right? And I'll go over my price targets for the downside later on, okay? Let me just check chat. We're gonna break upwards. I mean, it's possible to break upwards. I just don't think it's likely, and I'll go over it again, right? And it's not because I hate bulls and I'm a perma bear. I love to be bullish. Everyone is more pleasant to work with when we're bullish, okay? Okay, after we dropped, we bounced back up, right? So we had a high we made over here, right? This would be a lower high because it's not as high as this one. And yes, we could say this area was also a lower high, and I hate to say it, but is this forming the next lower high, right? We have about 4 lower highs, a 4th potential one, but what we do need to look at is we had this base here, okay? This base around the $30,000 level, right? And yes, what you do get is a formation of a descending triangle. Now, I need you guys to look with just data only, right? With data only. I need you guys to look. We're going to go back to remember, this is a descending triangle. We're going to go back to 2017. And this is going to scare a lot of people. I know it will, right? This one is what I lived through, okay? This one was 350 days of a descending triangle, okay? Basically, again, let me just go lower high, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Yeah, again. And then we had this base formation, okay? And what you want to keep track of is we had this drop here, and it was a 51% drop, okay? I think this is possible for what we are having. Again, I'm not saying exactly 51%. I'm just saying let's just do like a psychoanalysis of the market. I won't even show the end of that triangle, right? If you spend 350 days and every time we drop down to 6,000, we bounce up, right? You would probably say 6,000 was the bottom, okay? That's what a lot of people are saying. I remember this clearly because I've seen people get like absolutely destroyed, right? And I myself, I was very new. I was probably like a year into this market, right? It was scary for me. And then to see it drop 51% when a lot, like 80% of people were saying 6,000 was the bottom. Like, you're a moron if you don't buy 6,000, okay? But look what happened. We dropped 51%. And again, I believe this is possible for many reasons. And we'll go over that, let me check chat so I don't have, okay, no one said anything new. Awesome. So we'll just go over, again, remember, keep this picture in your mind, right? This descending triangle, okay? This huge triangle. It took 350 days. And let's just go back to ours, right? Again, I'm not saying we're going to spend 350 days in like a triangle formation. I'm saying maybe we go, let's just measure just for giggles, right? So right now, we've been crabbing for about 54 days, right? Imagine you having a crab for 350 days, right? 7 times as much longer as this, right? This is what I lived through, right? So I'm okay with the price just going sideways for another, 3 to 6 months. It's just how markets are, because let's just go back. We went up here, right? We spent 217 days. We just went like straight up. I'll be honest. We just went straight up 217 days. So is it crazy to think that 180 days we just go sideways in this range? And ultimately, yes, I think within this range we might break, right? If we measured from here, right, a 40% down, like a down move, right, would bring us down to about, basically the $20,000 range. Is it crazy to think that we could hit the $20,000 range? And again, I know a lot of people aren't too bearish or bullish. I just think it's not bad to be a bear, and it's not bad to be a bull. It's just sometimes the market just goes sideways, right? And a lot of people don't understand that, right? If you develop that you have to be a bull or you have to be a bear, it kind of puts you in the spot where you say, okay, I have to be this, I have to be that. Well, you don't have to be anything. You guys have a choice, and you can be a crab, right? All right, jokes aside, again, this one was a 40% drop, and again, let's just go back. Let's use a weekly one. God, this can get very messy very quickly. Right, so yeah, again, this one was the 350 day descending triangle, and at the end of it, it dropped 51%. Is it crazy to think that this one dropping 40% is, it's not crazy. I think it's very realistic. The big question is, like, how long does this triangle take to break out of that pattern, right? No one really knows, but I think it is getting very close. Time's running out for all of us, right? Some factors have changed since then. Yeah, no, you're right. I do believe, factors have changed. There's a lot more money into it, right? And I'm not, like I said, I don't think we do spend 350 days into it. I personally think that it will break down, but let's just be honest. When this does break down, I do believe it will get bought up very quickly, and then we could have something like this bottoming formation, right? Where we do like round out bottom. That's what we want to look for, right? So yeah, yes, a lot of things have changed back then, but I still think like technicals do play out more than fundamentals. But I could be wrong, right? I'm just going to like through the data, through the data itself, right? And again, this is like the best case for the bulls, right? We had this move up, but we kind of like sell off here and make, right? And then you would say, so these aren't lower highs anymore. Yes, these wouldn't be lower highs anymore. This one would be the lower high if this plays out, right? From my point of view, right, I don't believe this could play out too easily, just because, again, all these moving averages, all these colored lines will act as a resistance level, okay? Not only that, you also have this blue zone here acting as resistance, right? And how I got that blue zone is from this level here, because this was previous resistance. Once we broke through that point, it shot up and was like, hey, we went to, $58,000, right? And then what happened, the key point of any level is you want to see it being tested once again, right? and we use this as support, right? We use this area as support. So yes, I would say that this like $42,000, $43,000 area is a good zone, and right now it will act as like short-term resistance for us. Okay, and again, how did I develop this base here? About 30,000, 28,000. Again, we just look horizontally and back over here. So let me just pull back over here. Back over here. Many times we wicked through this point, but we came back up, right? And again, you see this key point I want to point. Key point I want to point, right? That sounds terrible. It acted as resistance over here. We popped up, we broke through it, and we like smashed through, like absolutely smashed it, right? And then we came back down and tested it multiple times as a support level, right? So that's why I believe these two zones are pretty much where we're gonna crab out at. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much my Bitcoin analysis. If anyone has any questions, this is your time to ask, because yeah, I'm glad you guys are all here. And if you guys don't have any questions, I'll just go over things that I find interesting myself, right? Like Bitcoin, I can go over Bitcoin dominance. We can look at Ethereum targets. We can look at Ethereum BTC. But yeah, Bitcoin. Let's just look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour a little bit. No questions yet. Okay, so yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. I did point this out here. Again, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Little question mark over here because this is completely done. You could say that this could have been lower high too. It's a 4-hour time frame. I'm not really a fan of that, right? All right, so if no one has any questions, we'll just look over Bitcoin dominance for a bit. Hold on, let me see. Nice, I have 3 viewers. Thank you. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance. I do want to point out that, like, historically speaking, Bitcoin dominance was 98%, and you're like, obviously, because Ethereum wasn't made until about 2015, right? So let's just rewind a little bit and go back to the first altcoin season, right? For the major altcoin season, we got as low as 36% for Bitcoin dominance, right? So altcoins had 66% of the market, right? So the market valuation, altcoins at 66%. For this altcoin cycle, altcoins got as high as the 60% dominance, right? Bitcoin sitting at 40%. Now, what I believe could happen, right, and it looks like it's kind of shaping up to be that way, is you see how this dropped here and then it popped back up. I think it's possible that we could do something like that, right? You can see it came back to this area, to this zone, right? And then it shot back down, okay? So where would that be, right? Around this level, okay? So if it popped back up, we would say about 60%, 60% dominance for Bitcoin. But I do ultimately believe it could go down, but I don't believe it'll go as low as, 36%, right? That's something a little hopium, but I do believe in the immediate term this is a possibility. However, there's nothing like guaranteed that could happen, right? So let's just take some of these drawings off. Yeah, so for Bitcoin dominance, I believe in the very short term, right, we are having somewhat of a relief rally up, because let's just measure it from here, right? Let's just do a little measurement from this point. So let me remind you, back in January 2nd of this year, 2021, Bitcoin dominance was about 72%, okay? And within 137 days, it lost about 45% of that dominance. So it's not too crazy to think that it could have a rally up, right? And again, I would say it could go up to about the 60 level, right? And then we could have a further continuation down, right? So just imagine going up to the 60 level and then slowly going back down. Obviously not like that, but again, if we're gonna have a double peak cycle, which a lot of people, shout out to Benjamin Cohen, he talks about the double peak cycle a lot. And if you guys don't know what the double peak cycle is, I'll just go over it with you guys, just in case some people don't know. So looking at a weekly time frame, right, we have this chart shows pretty much all the data that we have on Bitcoin, right? And if you notice over here in 2013, we had a peak, right? This is like first peak for this cycle and a second peak here, okay? The thing we need to notice is after the first peak, we did spend let's see how much time we spent going crab market. We spent about 196 days with the crab market. Again, let me remind you, this is a weekly time frame, okay? So 196 days, it just like bounced within a range, right? And let's just zoom in on a daily time frame. So daily, okay, here we go. So on a daily time frame, this is what it looks like. And again, this is just speculation, but lower high, lower high, lower high, and then it had this drop here, right? So let's just measure how much that drop was. Let's just go to the price. This drop was about 35%, okay? So after the drop, again, this is 100% a descending triangle with the base being around like $97, okay? If you guys don't believe me, let me just draw it. Boom. Boom, right? God, let me take my stupid circles out. Die, get out of here. Right, okay, now let's just zoom in, right? So yes, again, descending triangle, again, characteristic is lower high, lower high, lower high, and a base, right? And then yes, we dropped 35%. So I believe, again, this is something that could happen, okay? It doesn't have to happen, but we could have a drop 30, 40, 50%, whatever it is. And then after that happens, we would see a price spiking up, okay? And then coming back, we could have the recovery. But again, let me do note synthetics. Yeah, look at synthetics. So let me do note that it took a long time, right, for it to recover. It took almost, what am I doing? That's the price. We need to look at date. Okay, so it took about 37 days after this dump to get back up, right? So again, the time that we spent so far in our little crab market is about 50 days, okay? That's not too much for a crab market, right? I'll just show you guys so you can believe me. Yeah, we spent about 54 days in our crab market, right? So, I mean, that's just to give you perspective. The last time we had a double peak cycle and we went sideways, about 200 days pretty much. Okay, so synthetics. Oh, okay, so we need to go to synthetics dollar pairing. Okay, we'll look at dollar. I don't think you have a preferred exchange, so we just use Binance. Okay, so for synthetics, let's just look at a weekly time frame because I like looking long term too. Okay, so pretty much the lowest price, and we can see support was previously about $2.70. Okay, let me just outline the support levels so we can all get a. Where's my raise at? Thank you. That was a resistance, support, and then we would say this one could also, hold on, that is resistance. Okay, good. Okay, so these are pretty much the levels that you want to look out for, okay? So you can see here, this one did act as a previous resistance, right? But we are testing this as support, and yes, I would say this is a confirmation that the pretty much like the $7 area is support for synthetics. Now what you're seeing here is definitely a reactionary bounce because synthetics was in a pretty much like a descending. Sorry, let me draw where's my trend line at? Here you go. Awesome. Pretty much like a descending channel here, right? Like a descending wedge, and it's currently broken out of like the middle line of it, right? But what we want to look at is the RSI, and you should pay attention to this one carefully. You can see here we pretty much have like RSI breaking out, right? So we would say it broke out the bearish control zone. So for now, yes, I would say synthetics is, and having a nice bounce, right? And how we can confirm that bounce is, again, the moving averages that it broke through, right? The 10 simple and the 21 weekly, okay? Sorry, I went on a weekly time frame, but it's still relevant for all of it, right? If I go to a daily time frame chart, you'll see what I mean. Again, on a daily time frame chart, we have the same thing, right? We have a huge descending wedge, right? And we broke out. You pretty much broke out the middle point of it, and you can see here, pretty much we've conquered all these moving averages so far, and we're testing the bigger ones, right? Like a 200-day moving average here, the exponential, right? So if it can break and hold above this point, I would target the red one, right? The red one's about $15, right? So this is what I would target. And just for like disclaimer purposes, I do hold a position in synthetics. I was like one of the biggest synthetics bulls. Let me just show you my Discord real quick. I can't even show it to you because it blocks it. But yeah, if you guys like look at my look on Space Station Discord and type in like my name synthetics. I was talking about synthetics all the way back in like December, right? I actually bought my first synthetics when it was like $7, and it was a crazy ride. Yeah, it went like $25 multiple times, right? You have the peak here, and you have the peak here, right? So technically, it's not really a double top, but some people would say this is a double top. But one of the reasons why synthetics is such a nice project is because it gives access to derivatives for everybody. And again, the derivatives market is about like 50 quintillion or like 500 quintillion market cap. It's a lot bigger than the equities market. So I do believe synthetics has a very nice place in DeFi for crypto. So yeah, again, let me just say I do hold a position in synthetics. So take that with whatever you would like. But let's just look at the Bitcoin synthetics Bitcoin evaluation, because that could also give you some good insight, right? And basically, this just compares synthetics to the value, like how much synthetics does it take to make one Bitcoin? Okay, so again, let's just take a quick glance at the weekly chart, right? And this is almost looking like Link. Okay, Link has almost a similar structure, right? So let's just go to Link so you guys can see. Right, Link has a structure where it pretty much bounces up, comes down to the moving averages, touches and goes, right? Touches and goes, touches and goes, touches and goes, right? For synthetics, we kind of have that going on too, right? Touch, go, touch, go, touch, go, right? Touch, dip below, but it's still going, right? So I would say, yeah, synthetics is quite of a strong altcoin right now. Again, it has a lot of backing because of what it offers. And make no mistake, this rally that it's in, it's not just some weird like fluke or coincidence, right? It went up 134% within 26 days. Okay, there's a reason why this happened. It's because people are valuing it. You know, there's a reason why. Okay, so congratulations if you're in synthetics, but man, like I said, I haven't sold any of my synthetics. I'm using it for the staking program on, you know, like minting and stuff. But yeah, this is awesome. You know, as someone who has synthetics, I love this. You know, a lot of people doubt synthetics because there's a lot of competitors to synthetics like Uma. What's the other one? Yeah, Uma. I started watching it Friday night. TK crossed on a 1 hour. Almost bought in and woke up. It was up 20%. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks, you know. That's the thing about like 1 hour time frames. I don't like it too much, but yeah, I think synthetics, it still has some room to go. You know, let me just show you why, right? So it tested again, we're on a daily time frame. It tested the 10 simple down here, and it still bounces up, and it tested the 55. So this is a point of strength for me, right? If it can do, when it drops, right, and if it drops down to a moving average, and it bounces quite considerably above it, right? And it took out where it stopped, like it got stopped out here, like you see this wick down here. It took that out and it's going up. I think it still has room to run. However, you know, the big question is like how much room does it have left to run? And I hate to say it, ultimately it really just depends on what Bitcoin does, right? If Bitcoin can go sideways like this, I think synthetics has a good chance to keep running up. But if Bitcoin, you know, starts like rolling over and falling down, it's going to take the whole market with it. You know, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. But yeah, synthetics is one of the altcoins I do have in my portfolios. I have like synthetics. I have obviously Ethereum. I have some ADA, not too much. I have Link too. Matic I have because I farm on Polygon. But yeah. Thanks for that question. All right, does anyone else have any questions? I'm taking whatever questions you guys have about like trading, investing. Let me know. I'm just gonna take a sip of water, so let me know. My voice is getting kind of dry. Wow, that water tastes great. Link. You know, I was making a comparison earlier, just so I don't like confuse anybody. The comparison was Link Satoshi value, right? But I'm saying similarly, like a structure-wise, synthetics almost has the same structure, right? If we look at synthetics, BTC, right? It almost has that. Like obviously, it's not there because Link has existed longer. But the key point that we want to see is every time we, when we're dipping, right, we're getting held as support by these moving averages. Even if it does look like it's getting lower and lower, that's perfectly fine because you can see that happening on link 2, right? The white was acting as a support, then you see the yellow, then the green, okay, then the cyan color. That's perfectly normal. But the strength is when it can happen like this, right? If you look at something like, I don't know, what's a crazy one I could look at? Is there Neo somewhere? No, Neo wouldn't be a good one. Like Phantom, right? You can see, like, if you look at Phantom before that huge rally, right? When it came to the moving average, it just like dropped through, right? That's not something you want to see, right? You want to see it held as support, like here it held as support, but then it broke through. That's not too good. But yes, I know Phantom like did insane, right? This is Phantom BTC. All right, let's check chat real quick. How do I feel about XRP? Do you mean like price wise or like fundamentals? Because obviously you're gonna get a different response from me if I talk about like the fundamentals versus the price. While you answer my question, I'll just look at the price real quick. XRP has always been one of those things where it's a love or hate thing for a lot of people, right? It's like you either love it or you hate it. And I remember I bought some XRP just because when my first time, again, I started back in 2017. Like my first time investing, it was like, I don't even know, 25 cents or something. It's like a quarter, right? So it's like, dude, if this thing could get to the price of Bitcoin, I'm gonna be rich, right? So yeah, I don't have any like hard feelings towards XRP. I just think that what they're going after is a little harder. Like they're basically trying to like replace the banks, okay? And first off, when you're trying to replace the banks, those are some powerful people, okay? So you're gonna face a lot of resistance and backlash. I'm indifferent towards XRP. Like fundamentally, I think what they're doing is like fantastic. I just think it's very hard because again, they're basically gonna fight the banks, and again, banks they're powerful institutions, right? There's a reason why the world's wealthiest families they all do banking, right? They all coming from a banking background. But all right, let's just like look at a price perspective, right? Price wise, it is still right. It's looking like it's going a little bit below the uptrend, which is fine, right? But it is in this like ascending channel, which is again, it's fine because basically what you say is, hey, is there a possibility that it could go up here? And again, like to the $250 range, right? And again, it at the end of the day, most altcoins will depend upon what Bitcoin does. But if you just look at XRP, what it did in the last bull market, right? It went up. I mean, it went up. It was past this point, right? Binance listed pretty late. So let me find an exchange that has better data on it. Then we can look at the price. So I think Bitfinex would have more data than Binance. Yes, it does. Nice. So the last what do you want to call it? The bull market, right? Back in like late 2018, late 2017, early 2018, it went up as high as like $3.20, right? And I remember, well, we won't talk about that, but yeah. So I think it still has room to run, but again, it does heavily depend on what Bitcoin is doing, okay? And for the time being, it is in a downtrend, and there's no like lying it's in a downtrend because again, it's below all the moving averages, and you're gonna get a death cross coming here. And I know a lot of people are like, I hate death cross, whatever, right? So the green crossing underneath the red, blah blah, death cross. It's not, it's nothing too crazy, but yeah. So in the short term, yes, it is looking like quite bearish on XRP. I mean, let's just take a look at the XRP Satoshi pairing, right? Let's look at Satoshi value. Who has a good one? Just Binance, I guess. So Satoshi wise, God, this is so weird. Look at these wicks up here. So like Satoshi wise, again, it's not looking too bad. Satoshi wise, it has some support here at the red, which is a 200 simple moving average here. So I would expect if it could come down here, you would see it bounce. But again, a lot of people don't really use Satoshi value. But yeah, to answer your question, overall, I'm like indifferent. Like fundamentally wise, I'm indifferent on XRP. The price wise, it's looking quite bearish. If if Bitcoin was in a different situation, right? If Bitcoin was in, again, the uptrend, I would say yeah, XRP does have a chance, but my sloppy charts, right? But I right now it's looking quite bearish for XRP. Just because again it's under all these moving averages, and you know if you look at the RSI, you know, just like this, it's in a descending, you know, pattern. Again, descending patterns, they will get broken out of. So yes, there is, you know, time for a bounce. Again, the question is, you know, when does it bounce? How much does it bounce? I'm not really in the business to say that. I'm just saying that it's looking bearish, man. It's looking bearish. All right. Any other questions? I think I'll take like another question, and then we'll call it a night. It's about 11 o'clock for me, so yeah, I'll take another question. If you guys have any questions about, I don't know, like investing, trading, I guess. I mean, I do real estate too. In real life, I'm a realtor. If you guys have any questions about housing, whatever, let me know. But yeah, the markets look like they're kind of doing good today. Oh, obviously they just started, but yeah. So Bitcoin is up about 0.1%. Let me just look at Bitcoin on a degenerate chart. Yeah, again, descending wedges, right? Like descending channels have a very high chance to break out. Like these patterns break out. That's one of the easiest ones to do when you have a descending pattern like that, and you can see it multiple times, right? Like here. Oops. Don't worry, I'll check chat very soon. I'm just showing you guys like one of the easiest patterns to know is a descending channel here. But you know, obviously the big question is like, when does it break out, right? This could have went on for like another hour. It doesn't have to break out, you know. There's no certain point, but you know, there's something to look for. Okay, let's check chat. Nothing yet. Okay. All right, I'll give it a couple more minutes. I'll just ramble on about something. But yeah, so I'm gonna take like one more question, and then we'll just call it a night, because I believe you guys have things to do, right? And my voice is getting a little tired. First time live streaming, but yeah, hopefully, you know, 3 people watching is amazing. So yeah, just one more question, anybody. And if you don't have a question, don't feel pressured. You know, I'm more than fine, happy to leave it at this point. But yeah, let's just ramble a little bit more about Bitcoin, right? So yes, the death cross. We've had multiple death crosses on Bitcoin, and again, not looking too good for Bitcoin. But when a lot of people are bearish, guys, what happens sometimes is, right, you get the unexpected, which is this blue line here, right? We could have this massive rally up, and ultimately I think it does get sold into, and then which would lead into like, hey, the bears are they got us by the balls, and it drops down, right? And my targets, my downside targets are like, you know, 20. Let me just show you my levels here. Basically like 24,000 and then 21,000, right? It's just because of what we had over here. Sorry, what we had over here, right? This little area and then this little area here. So if we zoom in, we can see that's where price kind of like stayed still for a little bit, like 7 days, and then it's almost like 3 weeks during Christmas. All right, Percy, thanks for hanging out. All right, let me check chat one more time. Okay, I think that was a great. This is a good point to stop, right? So again, I appreciate everyone who stopped by, who just wanted to listen, and hopefully I can do more of these in the future. So maybe we'll do them on like Sundays or something, just do like a weekly recap of what happened. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.